Still, Rain went live without much of an issue, but lots of news emerged in the first 2 days of the DLC, which are not exactly part of the patch notes. Let's dive in. Hello everyone, welcome back to another Fallout 76 video. It's news time, and in this one I have a lot of bombastic things to talk about, starting by the score problem, which robbed thousands of score from, well, almost everyone. There's also a new duplication glitch live, which can crash servers, and the camp/shelter budget bug has now become a persistent issue. Moreover, there's a new Owlet on the way, it seems like. I will also cover some new bugs and make a short overview of the new mine shelter and the fortune teller machine. Alright then, with that being said, let's jump right into the details. Well, let's start with something very unpleasant. Still, Rain went live on July 7, and most of you have experienced the score robbery, right? I mean, the autocomplete challenge bug returned in mass, and almost everyone lost thousands of score in the process in the very first day. I'm not saying Bethesda robbed us on purpose, but still, it is a robbery nonetheless. For those not familiar with the bug, it autocompletes challenges without rewards. Anyway, this nasty bug didn't affect everyone in the same way. For example, I only got 3 challenges bugged, so my loss was 3,000 score, which apparently is minimal if you compare it to other players who logged in to find 7, 8 or even 9 weekly challenges already completed and without any score on their pockets. Ouch, that's a lot of score, and scoreboard ranks lost too right at the beginning. The good news is that each season lasts for months, so even if you are behind a bit, it's not the end of the world. You still have enough time to complete and reach rank 100 in time. Anyhow, to compensate players for their loss, Bethesda has enabled a double daily score event from July 8 to the 12th. They are also planning to add bonus weekly challenges, I guess for next week, so despite a bad start, it's not all bad news, as you can see. The event is already live, so make sure to do all your dailies while it's still rewarding double score. And well, let's all hope this bug won't strike again in the following weeks. But if it does, don't be too shocked. After all, this bug is still live and going wild. Oh my goodness, it's a disaster. There is a new duplication exploit live, which allows players to use their camps to duplicate at least power armor, from what I have heard. As obvious, I won't go into details on how it's done, but according to this Reddit post, it was something highly reported by players during the public test server, and Bethesda was highly aware of its existence. Yet they have done nothing to fix it and release the patch as it was with this duplication in the files. Furthermore, you should know that this exploit is not something that one does without being noticeable, because it crashes servers. First it lags, and eventually it will lead to a crash, which affects a lot of people in the process. So you see, it's not even about the duplicated gear at this point, it's about how one individual can impair the gameplay of 20 other players at a time in that server. This is pretty frustrating, and most of all, it's unacceptable. That's why we have to push Bethesda to fix this as soon as possible. Don't be quiet, don't just, oh, it's happening, who cares? Make your voice heard, because if we don't speak up, it's one step forward. It's one step that they won't fix this quickly, and that's not something we want. Okay, so guys, speak up. I'm not saying to promote the exploit, do it like I'm doing here. Talk about it without going into details on how it's done. So we need awareness, that's the most important thing. Anyway, in previous scenarios, Bethesda either disabled the source of the dupe or they released the hotfix within days. So let's hope they come forward with any of these two solutions. But since the weekend has arrived, we can only expect something to happen regarding this starting next Monday. So meanwhile, talk about it, pressure them, and let's hope for the best. Something else I noticed in my first Still Rain day is that my shelter budget was acting weird. A friend of mine told me something similar, so I decided to investigate, and voila, it is indeed bugged. If you build something in your camp or shelters after patch 28, there is a high chance that part of your budget will get stuck forever. As in, there is no reset or fix for this. Look, I first manually scrapped my items in this shelter, but my budget still said I had some left. Then I moved to another shelter to test, scrapped everything using the control option. As shown, there is nothing in the store tab, but still, the budget shows part of it is occupied. Like there are items placed when the shelter is totally and completely empty. I tried to reset the budget by deleting and adding a new shelter entrance, but that doesn't help at all. So yeah, building from scratch now looks like a nightmare because, as my tests indicate, part of your budget is going to get bugged and there is no going back, as far as I know. Unless this is a visual bug, if that's the case, then it's okay, I guess. But if it's not, then this is a very concerning issue, especially for builders, because you're basically working with way less budget than intended, depending on how harshly the bug affects you. At my mine shelter, the bugged budget was like 1 or 2%, not much, but at my server room shelter, it was around 5%, a bit more concerning. With that being said, be careful with what you build, because the more you build and delete, the higher the chance for more budget to get bugged. Alright, enough of issues for now. Do let me inform you about a new Owlet. That's right, Bethesda is planning to add a new Owlet spawn with the upcoming update 29. Recently, the 76 lead design confirmed that a new Owlet is on the way, but sadly they couldn't release it yet with update 28. Steve also said his new Owlet will be placed in a hidden place, but not as hidden as the one we have right now inside the Deep, which normally gets immediately killed by the nearby chickens before players can even get to him. Anyway, a player asked if pizza will be part of the next patch, to which Bethesda Steve answered, "You can pretend it's Owlet pizza," which kinda hints towards a new recipe, Unless he was referring to the existing Owlet nuggets introduced with the Wastelanders DLC, but nuggets are very different from pizza, so I doubt he was talking about the same thing. Now later on I asked him if a new recipe is coming, and he confessed to be trying to convince people that pizza is the way. So who knows? As someone once said, pizza is not a trend, it's a way of life. And I really don't see why it can't be part of the 76 world. Now, does this mean pizza is really coming? I don't know. I guess we will have to wait for Steve to tell us more. The new Mine Cave shelter went live with the Still Rain DLC, and even though it's working pretty fine inside, the entrance is an entire different story. First of all, you can place it almost anywhere, even in places no one would ever come up with. I mean, look at that. I can make it float all over this boat or place it in thin air with no support anywhere. And no, this is not a shelter. I can go as far as placing it around trees, like some sort of tree protection, or right at the top of the tree. It's actually funny, wood with wood, it's camouflage. I know it's hard to spot, but my mine shelter entrance is right here, guys, believe it or not. Anyway, I tried to place other shelter entrances in the same places, and I was not able to replicate this, so I think something is not very right with the mine door, just saying. Moving forward, the entrance itself is also a bit buggy. First of all, you need to get really close to it for the enter option to pop up, but it doesn't always appear as shown. It's like the center top part does not trigger it, but the lower part of the door does. Well, as I said before, at least the interior works nicely, so that's a huge plus. Now let me show you a quick overview of this new shelter. Once you enter, it's like you came from this elevator. It extends far vertically until you see a black blur and there's nothing left. The first control panel is right close to the elevator. I know it appears bugged here, but hold on, I will talk about this in the next point. Now, this new shelter is huge. There is this main corridor with train tracks, which leads to the main area. It's quite dark and spooky, and at the very front edge you can find a small water body, a pond if you can even call it that. However, you cannot build any water purifiers here because, as you should know, water and food are two disabled categories for all shelters. So forget about it. But you can certainly build anything you want on the water, like a prefabricated, as I'm doing here. Needless to say, you can build basically anywhere, even on the high walls or under the train tracks. The elevator is no exception. You can fully customize it as you wish. Now here's a full view of the entire mine shelter, featuring both corridors and the main area with the water. It's surely very different from all the vault shelters we got so far. I can't say it looks impressive, beautiful, or anything of the likes, but it surely fits the wasteland. I mean, we have so many mines and caves already, so allowing players to have their own is a pretty good concept, I think. Next, I want to talk about a new bug I discovered while testing the previous points. It's about the shelter's control panel, which is now bugged after update 28. Yeah, as you can see, the interface with the options is not showing all the time. Sometimes it simply won't show up anymore, which makes it very difficult to use. I decided to test inside other shelters and, well, it's happening everywhere. At least on the ones I own. I own all except the atrium. After some 20 minutes playing around them, I concluded that this is an interface bug. Sometimes the same panel shows the interface fine, but if you click over again and again, it might not show the interface anymore. It's really weird. There is another version of this bug where the interface shows in a weird way, like in here where I can only see F and space, whatever that means. Well, the good thing is that the options still work if you know how your keys are assigned for this panel. You can just proceed as usual if you know them and it works fine. So yeah, it's more like a visual bug more than a functional one, just to let you know. Now, let us talk about the new fortune teller machine, one of the first Season 5 rewards everyone can unlock for free, and it works exactly as the data miners predicted. It boosts your luck. Just so you know, this item can be found under floor decor in building mode, not misc like the other two attribute booster items we have already. Unlike them, the fortune teller machine doesn't require to be used for a while. You just have to interact with it, and shortly after, you will receive your 4 luck boost and a random wizard's fortune message. The luck boost lasts for 30 minutes, like the existing strength and agility boosts. As for the new fortune notes, well, there are lots of them, 55 to be exact. They are normally generic short phrases with a wise nuance, but there are plenty of fortune telling with humor. So have a good laugh and enjoy the new feature. The messages are all live on the Fallout Wiki already. I'm leaving the link below the video in case you guys are curious about it. Another issue I want to bring to your attention is about power armor frames disappearing. Well, not literally, but ever since Steel Rain went live, several players claim their frames just disappeared from their inventories. Yeah, I know, it sounds serious, but it's not. It's just one of these bad boy bugs. It's deceiving, but it doesn't hurt you. If this bug happens to you, do not panic, because it's most certainly a visual thing. As such, go back to the main menu, relax, relog, and check your inventory again. Everything should return back to normal once you do this. Well, at least it worked for a few affected people that posted about this bug so far. I did a few tests myself, and I can confirm that it works. In one of my test attempts, my power armor did not return to my inventory, so I did exactly as I recommended. I relogged, and there you go. The frame returned to my inventory, everything was okay. Don't worry. It's just another visual issue to join, the collection, which might give you a nice scare, but it probably won't be more than that, a scare. Well, what if I told you Bethesda doesn't provide all the notes for the changes they do with every patch? That's pretty obvious for me at this point. I keep finding things that are not part of the patch notes, and sometimes they're not that minor. Anyhow, the 76 lead design Steve has recently unveiled that Bethesda normally implements hundreds of changes with every patch. And as to be expected, they do not write about every single one of them, especially when it comes to minor fixes like some random bush not floating anymore, which makes perfect sense. He also confirmed that the patch notes are compiled by the community team, which is previously reviewed by the development team before it's published. So we can conclude that patch notes are a team effort and a product of many people working together. As such, a lot of things could slip or go the wrong way in a very easy manner. That's probably why we keep finding points that are not explicit or descriptive enough, or even changes in game that are not part of the patch notes. To finish this video, do let me remind you that the Purveyor is hosting another sale. That's right, head to the Rusty Pick to take part of the ongoing Mystery Pick, ending next Monday, July 12th. Make sure to scroll down at the Purveyor though to find the Mystery Pick boxes, because now with the legendary power armor boxes, the list is different. It's longer than before, so it can give you the false impression that mystery pick boxes are not showing when in reality they are there, at the very bottom of the list. Anyway, if you are looking forward to get a specific legendary item, you should probably save your script to buy legendary modules instead, just so you can craft whatever item you want as legendary later on through the new legendary crafting system. But then again, it all depends on what you need or want right now. Good luck either way. We are almost at the end of the road, and today's random bug is this Brotherhood initiate who showed up for his patrol naked. Wow, that's some disruptive behavior right there. I wonder what's the punishment for 1, not wearing a Brotherhood uniform, and 2, for working naked. Well, I'm not judging. Maybe it was really hot that day and he felt better to let the air flow through his body. Jokes aside, that's it for today's news. I hope I could keep you up to date with everything Fallout 76. I am Marta Branco, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to leave a like and comment below if you have any questions. And if you haven't subscribed yet, well, maybe now it's the time to do so. Alright then, a last thank you to all my dear supporters. You guys allow me to provide the content I do. Thanks a lot. I hope you are having a good one. I will see you very soon in the next video. Until then, take care, adeus, bye bye.